Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ULTV Study Abroad 101. I'm Shifali Srivastav, Marketing and Communication Manager at University. Today, we are not going to discuss which country to go, which course to take, or how to ace your application. We'll discuss an important aspect of living balanced, healthy life. And a healthy, balanced life is anchored by mental health. 1 out of 4 students struggle with mental health issues globally, making it all the more important to start a dialogue around mental health today. We have Raina Jain, psychologist and founder at the Happiness Project Studio. Hi, Raina.
Hi, Shifali. It's so good to be here. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for doing this.
Thank you so much for joining us. Raina is on a mission to get people to talk about everything that matters and empathize on the message it is okay to not to be okay. The message itself conveys a lot of volume, Raina. Thank you again for joining us today and how this whole happiness project came into the picture.
Well, it's taken a couple of years to, of course, realize that I wanted to do what I'm doing right now. It's not been an easy journey because, it's very easy to get stuck in the rut of, the corporate culture. But I think I was clear, after a few experiences that I didn't want to be stuck there. And then I think in 2019 of December, I happened to go visit my sister in London. And again, before that, a lot of events happened that led me to, really go and visit her. So I took a sabbatical after I quit my last job. I then also happened to, do a meditation course at Sadhguru. And I traveled quite a lot across the world. And then I think, okay, now I'll just go visit my sister and see how that works out. And that's when I think the realization came in for me that I want to do something for the greater good, for the bigger community. And I think nothing better than, starting with a podcast because I could reach, the entire world through just my voice. So I started off with that, and it happened, to come into, play from 2019 December. And since then, yeah, everything kind of just worked out. I started my own practice. I also create content now around mental health. I write for magazines. I give interviews. So yeah, it's been great so far. Yeah.
Right. So now all the pieces are falling in the right place in the puzzle, right?
Fingers crossed. Yes, it's just happening. Yeah.
Okay, great. So there's a lot of different definitions around mental health. We keep on hearing different points from different people. I know there's not, we can't define mental health into some just specific words, but what is the correct definition or statement to describe mental health?
Well, look, there's no correct definition to mental health. But of course, it encompasses, your emotional health, your psychological health, your social health, and it also influences the way we perceive the world, the way we think, how our behavior is, how we manage stress, how resilient we are, how we cope up when difficult things happen in our lives. So it kind of encompasses of all of these aspects, and it's really, really, important to not just look for mental health with the mind. I think psychology as a field is also moving towards the connection between physical health and mental health. For a very long time, we focused on physical health very differently and mental health very differently, but that is not the case anymore. So it's all interconnected. Like physical health is connected to mental health and vice versa, and it's so important for us to know this, that mental health is just not about your mind. Yeah.
Right. It's not just driven around mind, and it's everything. Like as I mentioned earlier, it is about living a healthy, balanced life. So which comes when you're emotionally strong, when you're physically strong. So both things matters a lot. And okay, now because we deal into international student ecosystem, this is an important question, and we get a lot of queries around it. And a lot of students share their concerns that they go through this culture shock. This is a term that comes across a lot of time from students when we want to understand how their experience have been overseas.
Right.
How do students adapt to this culture shock once they move abroad to study?
So, well, okay, culture shock is extremely normal. It doesn't matter. It's more about adjusting and adapting. So any new situation, you will take time to adapt. So we took time to adapt to COVID, didn't we? We took time to adapt to wearing masks. It took a very long time, and then it kind of became a normal. It became such a normalized culture later. So culture shock is also very similar to that. It's very, like I said, normal to go through that from time to time, especially when you've lived in a certain way for a very long period of time and you suddenly going to another country with a different set of norms, culture, traditions, all of that, it is going to be different. And different is good. Okay, different is not bad. It's just scary. It's uncomfortable, but it's amazing. That's exactly the space where the most growth really happens. So when you think about culture shock, I think it's very important to know that it will take time. So just accept it instead of resisting it. So just be like, okay, I know it'll take time, but I'm going to be okay. And number two, focus on the good things. Okay, it's very easy to get caught up in my country's food is good, or I miss my people, it was different there, I miss my family. So again, you're going abroad for a reason, so you can of course take your country along with you, but not let that hold you back from experiencing the lives that you can when you are away. So that is also very important. And number three, I think, look, stay connected to your family, your loved ones in your own country. Of course, you're going to feel homesick from time to time, but it's more about how you really manage your life in a very balanced way. Like I really emphasize on the word balance a lot, because that's that's exactly when you'll know whether you have a healthy, mental health or not. So yeah, just do these things and you're going to be just fine, really.
Right. So it's all about, change of habits, matlab change in habits. That's what culture shock is around, what I understand, right?
So again, it's about adapting. Just adapting to something that is not normal or not habitual to you, right? This
Right.
is different to me, so it's going to take time. So yeah.
Right. And as you mentioned, most of the growth happens when you are not in your comfort zone, which is a given fact now. So, of course. Now, you mentioned around like people get FOMO, get homesick, and all that. These are a couple of the symptoms, and these are a couple of the issues that students usually face when they study abroad. What other common mental health issue are which should faced by the students who are traveling abroad or studying abroad?
I think there are a lot of issues, and to each its own, to be very honest. But a couple of very common issues that I have seen people going through when they are traveling abroad internationally, especially to study. Um, so anxiety is very common, like anxiety in terms of what's going to happen next. I don't know, where am I don't know, what am I doing with my life. I'm so confused. So many things come up and you just are not able to handle those emotions. So you get very overwhelmed. So that's one thing that people go through. Depression is quite common. In fact, there are times when students might even go through depression and they wouldn't know it when they are actually going through it. So it's very important to really be just mindful of that. And it's okay to not know about it. But now that you have so many resources out there, why not just get a hang of it? Like, only you will know whether whatever that you're going through is normal or not. And we will tap into that a little bit later, of course. So yeah, depression is another thing. There's the isolation. Students get so isolated when they are away abroad. Also, a lot of people who are very closed, very introverted, they find it very difficult to go out, speak to people, or put themselves out there. So it becomes all the more difficult for them to really connect to other people. So that is something that I've seen a lot. Fear of missing out. Oh, I couldn't couldn't go to the party. I missed that. Or, simple thing, but that's so common. And it's not just abroad, it's across the world. So FOMO has been like a major issue. Academic pressure, of course, there's a lot of pressure that people go through. That's also because they procrastinate a lot, not to deny. They're like, okay, I'll do it later, and that later never really happens up until you have your assignment that you need to submit. But as long as you're able to manage it well, that's okay. Yeah, I think again, fear of change. That is something that can ruin every experience of yours. So when you function from a place of fear, every experience becomes very negative. But when you really function from a place of faith, uh, it's it's a very positive experience, wherein fear and faith, they kind of produce the exact same mechanisms in your body. If you realize that, fear is also, it's about not knowing what's going to happen. Faith is also knowing what's not going to happen, or what's going to happen, you don't know about it. So when you kind of have an understanding that, I'm just going to just hang in there and let things happen, let things unfold on its own, instead of controlling every single thing. So I think, yeah, these are a couple of things that students go through when they are studying abroad. Yeah.
Right. And in fact, these issues that you mentioned are not just related to someone who's going abroad. These issues can be identified in the person who's studying here in the same place, or, maybe one of your colleague. These are very common issues. So this is very, yeah. You also mentioned that it's important to know that what you are going through. Of course, you're the best person to judge what is going inside you, what you're feeling. But as a friend or as a parent, there's a lot of pressure on a friend and a parent also to to have empathy towards a person who's going through that challenge. How one can identify, or what a friend or what a parent should do in such case when they see that their child or their friend is going through some trauma?
Right. So number one, it's extremely important for mental health allies to just have the awareness of what's really happening, right? Like I think I mentioned this earlier. There's a lot of stigma around mental health. Of course, things are improving, things are getting better. We are moving towards a better acceptance of mental health issues. We still not there yet. Not 100% there yet. So we're still adapting. So as simple as being aware that, yeah, there are some issues happening. There's something that is not normal uh, in my child's routine. That's when, the parent will know that, okay, I need to do something about it. So number one, you could actually just go and talk to them without with a very non-judgmental outlook, because parents have this very preconceived notions कि ऐसे ही होना चाहिए, ये ही होना चाहिए. That's not possible, right? So just go and have a conversation with them. If they're not able to have a conversation with you, make sure that you consult a qualified therapist, and just have your concerns in front of them, laid out in front of them, and then take it forward from there. That's one thing. I think um, kids usually are very comfortable sharing their problems with their friends. So friends can, friend if you're a friend of somebody who is actually suffering from a mental health problem, just again, I feel just communicating is very important, because like we can go around living our lives just thinking that this person's going through that, this person's going through that, without even communicating it. How would the other person even know whether you're really concerned about that person or not? So I feel as simple as communication is important. Okay, it's very important. So just talk to them, and just help them to consult somebody who will help them in a better way, like a qualified therapist. So yeah.
Right. So communication is the key. You need to
Oh,
understand, you have
yeah.
to go, you have to speak, whether it's a friend or whether it's a parent or any colleague. There should not be any preconceived notions, and
Yeah.
communication is key. You should be a good listener to understand
Mm.
somebody's problem, right?
That's so true. I mean, you brought up a very good point, being a good listener. How often do we really listen to understand. That's something that you need to ask yourself. Most often when you're, when somebody is sharing a problem with you, we listen to give a solution to them, but that shouldn't be the idea, because most of the times people are only looking to vent out. And in that place, what can you do as a listener is simply hold a safe space for them, for them to be themselves. Okay. And that will only happen when you're very non-judgmental, and when you have a very open-minded perspective towards what they're really saying. So I think it's important for you to, for anyone for that matter, to just not listen with, having like thought solutions. No, don't do that. Listen, genuinely listen, mindfully listen, be there with them, because that's what they need. Sometimes the people only need to vent out, you know.
Right, right. So you have to be there when they need you. That's what a friend in need is actually. Now
Yeah.
you, yeah. Now you mentioned, and we've discussed that how a friend, a parent can identify if there's a change in routine or what is going through with the person. How do I know that I need help? How do that person know that that person needs help?
Correct. So okay. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Like, to each its own. Okay. I might, say, for example, I might be somebody who has very difficulty, who has a lot of difficulty falling asleep. Now I'm going to ask myself whether is that something that's happening, occasionally, or has that become like a, daily kind of a thing. That's number one. Okay, number two would be, say, I might not feel like eating a couple of meals, okay, throughout the week. But am I doing that consistently over a period of time, or is it just happening occasionally? Right? Or it could be that I might feel anxious because I have a presentation to give tomorrow, or I have an exam to give tomorrow, and I know it will pass. Or am I somebody who is constantly anxious throughout everything in my life? Very simple thing. So if anything that you're doing is affecting your daily functioning, and if it's happening for a prolonged period of time, say a couple of weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, then you know that you need to do something about it, because it's interfering with your daily life, your daily routine, your interpersonal relationships, your thought process, your decision making. Everything is impacted, and you will be able to recognize that when you know that, okay, this is not me. You just know it.
Right, but Rana, I think there's a lot of fear. You mentioned about fear and faith. There's a lot of fear around admitting this thing that I need help. That's also a very big problem,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Now, right, absolutely. I think, you know, you can go around living life thinking that, I'm normal, I'm okay. But how is it really helping you? If it's doing more bad than good in my life, that's when you know that, okay, I can keep my egotistical point of view aside and really do something for my own good, because that will also benefit to the greater good. As simple as that. If I'm not going to take care of my mental health, who will? If I don't take charge of my mental health, who will? And of course, I do understand that I have a lot of clients who come to me very unwillingly. Okay, like either their parents want them to come to me, or say, their guardians come to me, like, my child has a problem, do something about it. And when they come to me, they're like, what, I'm not going to share anything with you. I'm here just because my parents want them to be. And 5 sessions into therapy, they're like, what, I love this, I love what I'm doing, I see so much of change. So again, at the end of the day, it's more about how you even if you're coming, even if you don't accept it, if you're going to a therapist without that acceptance, that's also fine. Then leave everything, on the therapist, because that's their job. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So it's very important to look for your better picture, I'll say, right? It's important to understand what is good for you. Don't be under peer pressure that why in Hindi there's a kahavat, no, log kya kahenge. Let's not go there and let's not think that what people will say. Just think what is good for you. That's important, right?
Absolutely,
Now,
absolutely. And like nowadays, I'll tell you, and especially in teenagers and stuff, it's like such a cool concept. I'm a therapist. I'm gonna call you later. It's so cool for them, because they are more accepting towards it. Not only because their peers are going to therapists, but also because they know that it's kind of going to benefit them at the end of the day, you
Yeah,
know.
right. Today's generation is more active and proactive, to be say about their mental health. They are very active on that ground. So that's true. Generation Z, if I talk about now, now we have identified how to know that will. For example, if a person is being overwhelmed immediately, like what is the first state they should do? How would you, if there's any kind of first state immediately to control that overwhelming feeling, and how to go about it?
Hmm. Well, number one, just take a few deep breaths. Okay, literally just do that, and then talk to yourself. You need to talk through life. That is it. Okay, that is the solution to most of your problems. Okay, um, and just take a few deep breaths and then pause. Take a pause and reflect. Okay, now I might be going through something that is extremely overwhelming, and I can let that control me for a very long period of time. But I can also do things the other way around, where I take a step back, I reflect as to what is really happening with me. I'll talk to myself. Okay, what is happening with me? What is something that I'm going through? What am I scared about? When you're overwhelmed, usually there's an underlying fear somewhere. Okay, like something that is scary, something that is uncomfortable, and you're not able to do it. So you need to talk yourself through that. Once you do that, only then you'll be able to get your thoughts balanced, because often when you're under stress, the thoughts are very imbalanced, and when your thoughts are imbalanced, what happens is you end up catastrophizing every situation. Now what does that really mean? You basically you end up allowing yourself to think of all the worst case scenarios possible, wherein in reality aisa kuch hoga bhi nahi. Okay, but in your mind you've reached those all those problems, wherein and that controls you so much. Instead of
Overthinking.
doing yeah, overthinking again. So instead of doing that, why not focus on one thing at a time? Like, you know what, I know this has happened right now, and I'm going to talk myself through it, and I know that this won't last forever. Okay, it's as simple as that ki ye moment khatam ho chuka hai. I'm now in a new moment, and this moment will end, and I'll be in another new moment. So just knowing that things are constantly changing, and I'm not going to be stuck here forever, but I need to take control of that, right? I need to take control of how I want to feel. If I don't do that, I'm going to let life control me, and then I'll be all over the place again. You don't want to do that, right? So when you're feeling overwhelmed, take a pause, take a step back, take a few deep breaths, and just talk yourself through it. I think the way you talk to yourself matters the most. So if I am alone, so usually throughout our lifetime, the most amount of time that we spend is with ourselves. So in that time, how am I talking to myself? Am I talking to myself, you know, in a very rude way? Am I telling myself, oh, you're not good enough? Am I telling myself you did this wrong? You make so many mistakes? Or am I telling myself that, it's okay to make mistakes? It's absolutely fine. It was a different moment. Now I'm in a new moment altogether. So it's really about, how compassionate you are with yourself. Like we can be compassionate to everybody else in the world, but when it comes to ourselves, you're like, oh, we don't deserve that. Wherein you're the one who deserves it the most.
Right. It's actually very true. It's a true picture, I'll say. That
Yeah,
we are kind to others, but we are not kind to ourselves.
absolutely. I think, like I said, it's so important. Like, trust me, the world is out there wanting to, pull you down. It'll, throw challenges at you. And even in that time, you are also unkind to yourself. How is it going to help?
Right. So you need to pause, to take some few breaths in, breathe out, and talk yourself out. You can talk yourself, or you can write, I believe. Write is also a good habit.
Oh,
Writing.
I love that. I mean, I discovered this thing from one of my friends, a couple of months back. It's called the morning pages. Okay. And I love writing. I've been maintaining a gratitude journal for myself since the last, I don't know how many years. Okay. And I think it changes everything that you do. Oh my God, like I cannot begin to emphasize on the fact that writing helps. So what is morning pages again? Like you wake up in the morning, and you just write literally whatever is on your mind without being judgmental about what you're writing or thinking about it. You just flow with it. You don't have to think about it. You just flow. You just keep writing and do like a 3 pager thing every day. And you see how much, when you start doing that, you'll realize so many things, about yourself. And you might not even want to go out looking for solution because everything lies in those 3 pager mornings. That's when you know that, something is not okay, something is okay. And then you'll reflect yourself because you know, okay, what have I done? Or what have I not done? What could I have done better? What can I do now? So these are a few questions that will come to your mind when you start doing that. It's a very good habit.
Right, right. Great. Now, I'm coming back to our major issue that we were discussing earlier, that how things change for international students. COVID has played a very important role in last 2 years. It has given some good points to us, some bad point to us, and one of the good point and a bad point, it lies in both the sections, is hybrid culture. A lot of things have changed. There is a major change, uh, gone back in last 2 years, that things have moved to hybrid. Even the start classes were happening on hybrid model, the placements were happening on a hybrid model, everything was hybrid. Now the shift has happened. Things are getting back to normal. Universities have started opening up. How is this affecting students?
Look, change in any form is very uncomfortable, okay? And like I said, uncomfortable is good. You know, I feel what usually happens is, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of hesitancy, there's a lot of, I don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of anxiety, overwhelm that goes into play when we talk about, the new culture that there is. I still remember 2 years back when they started the hybrid culture, there still was a lot of hesitancy in from especially from the students end, where they were like, okay, you know what, I'm going abroad for a university experience. If I'm not going to get there, get that experience, what's the point me going there, right? So gladly, if things are getting back to, say, normal, hopefully soon. Things are changing. Things are still changing. Like there's recession that's going to hit the world very soon. There's inflation. There are 10,000 problems to be worried about, really. And I very strongly feel that one needs to adapt to change, any form of change in life. It could be a COVID related change, it could be a learning related change. I mean, look at us. We are doing an interview. You're sitting in Delhi, I am in Bombay, and we're still able to connect to each other and, of course, do this interview. So things have been feasible, things have been possible. I remember when I started my podcast, which was in 2019 December, and just a few months later, COVID hit. And I was like, okay, how am I going to really do my interviews? And the entire pop culture of Zoom came in, and I was like, okay, this has made everything possible. Like I have connected to people from who are like 10,000 miles away, sitting in United States, sitting in Australia, sitting in Canada, sitting in Malta, Mexico, like say it. And I've interviewed people from across the globe. And I think I've been more than grateful for that, because even during times where things were very challenging, I think life happens. Everything just works out. It might not be according to how you want it to be, but it might be for your absolute best. So just knowing that, the entire new learning experience also is going to be very different. It's going to be new. It's going to be challenging, but it's going to be, a way where you're going to be evolved. You're going to be a different person altogether. You won't be the same person you were a couple of months or years ago. So just go with that
Right.
mindset.
Right. Life happens. That's actually a very huge statement, and it's actually true. Somehow, life knows which way to go. You just need to follow that flow with the trust and faith in yourself. Right.
Absolutely. I mean, just let the flow take you where it has to take you. You don't decide the flow.
Yeah.
That's the point, right? Flow is like it's a flow. So why control the flow? We all spend our lives just trying to control how our life should be. So just let go of the should and just flow with the flow and see where what happens.
Right. Now you yourself studied in NTU, right? Nottingham Training
Yeah.
University. How has your experience been as an international student, and what do you think has changed over the years?
Well, I really don't know where to begin. It's so nostalgic. I don't know. Like, it is so overwhelming for me to even talk about this because the moment I hear Nottingham, I'm like, okay, I'm like taken like back like 5, 6 years ago, and I was 20 when I went there, and very young, adventurous woman who wanted to do everything. Not a woman, I was a girl then, and and like I was so excited for what life had to offer me, but at the same time I was nervous. I was so anxious that I didn't know what's going to really happen. I remember I had like 70 kgs of luggage with me because of course I'm a student. I can, मैं अपना घर बसा सकती हूँ वहां पर. So I like, ठीक है, I'll just do that. And at the airport, when I had to kind of change the terminus at the London airport, Heathrow airport, I didn't have any help. And I think, what the hell is happening? How am I going to do this? And gladly, there's this Australian chick who was right in front of me in the metro. She's like, you know what, I'll help you. I see you have a lot of luggage. I'll help you. In India, we used to so much of, like having help, or, even porters for that matter. There's everything is available to us. So we don't really realize, the need, or I mean, the importance of them, when we are away. Only then we know, okay, this is important. But just the very first day when I entered, London, and I was there, and I was like, okay, I was afraid. I was really, really scared. But that experience taught me that, don't be afraid to ask for help, because help is available all the time. We come from a culture where, why do I have to ask for help? I can manage it all by myself. That thing which is very deep rooted in each one of us. But it's okay to ask for help, and it's just because it's literally right there available for you. If you don't understand something, ask for it. Okay. So that was one of the things that I realized, and I'm like, okay, going forward, I kid you not, if I didn't understand anything, I asked for help throughout my experience in Nottingham, right? Because it's important for you to know that help is there. Don't think कि कोई नहीं है, कुछ मेरा क्या होगा type नहीं. Everything could be taken care of. Okay, that's one thing. And Nottingham, it changed my life. It changed the person that I have become today. I think a lot of credit goes to my experience there, the people that I was around, because it really matters. A lot of them shaped me into the person that I am today. My academics was something that changed me. Psychology changed me. Of course, the entire experience of being by yourself. I am the youngest in my family, and I went there thinking, कि I won't be pampered. And then from being so pampered throughout your life, you go there being independent, being responsible. You try those cooking hacks that you never have in your entire life. You go out, you meet new people. It's a different experience. And like, I am not even kidding, I met hundreds of people every day when I was in Nottingham. Like, every day new people, and I don't even know. And every day is full of surprises. So it's filled with amazing experiences if you go there with that mindset. Again, if I go there with the mindset, ki, I'll just be in my own shell, I'm not going to get out of my comfort zone, then you will be stuck there for a very long time. So get out of that space. Like I said, let life happen to you. Don't be stuck.
Right, right. So change is something. Of course, you mentioned your fears so well, and these are the fears that actually a student faces when they travel. You packed everything in a bag. Okay, I'm gonna settle everything over there. I can definitely relate to this because we have couple of products in our kitty at University Living that cater to such deals only because we get such queries that we have so much. What is student luggage? Limit for it. Can I take this? Can I take that? And then you go over there and you realize, okay, this particular set, what you bought from there, maybe a cooking set or maybe
Yes.
anything will not work there. You'll have to buy it anyhow.
I know, and I'm not even kidding. Like, Indian families, Indian parents, they're like, okay, food is very, very important. Okay, they'll give you like, I don't know, they'll give you so much of food. And of course, it's their love and care and all of that. And then you realize when you go there that, what, itna food nahi chahiye. but it's fine, but really, like, yeah.
That happens when you're traveling from Bombay to Delhi also, to be honest. So that we can't help that's parents.
I know that it's their love, so that's exactly what it
Right.
is.
That's their way to show love. But you mentioned pretty well. If you will think that okay, if you have a preconceived notion that okay, I'm gonna do over there, I'm going just for studies and I'm not going to network, I'm not going to talk to anyone, missing on a huge experience that actually is the reason that you're going abroad to study. You're going to miss meeting these strangers and all that, right? And I believe it creates a lot of confidence when you meet people abroad or strangers on a daily basis, right? You
Oh
get to learn a
yes,
lot of things.
absolutely, absolutely. Like going, I would recommend every parent to send their kids away. I don't care if you're sending them abroad or you're sending them somewhere in India, it doesn't matter, but send them away. It's for them to grow, because right now they are in their comfort zones. They are, their life is just given to them. But when you go away, you make your life happen. So
Right.
I think that's a very big difference. And when parents understand this,
Right.
I
Sapling
think,
grows into a tree when it comes under sun. It doesn't grow when there is already a shade.
yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. I think like I really, really want kids to go away, have that exposure, because they will start looking at individuals as individuals, not as any background that they're coming from. It could be religion, it could be communal, it could be faith. All of these things will just kind of fade away slowly, and you'll start looking at people just for what they are and what they bring on the table. And that's what they need to learn. And like you said, confidence, it'll grow on you. It definitely does, because um, like I said, you come from a shell, and then your shell is like opening up slowly, and then you're like literally out there. You then put yourself out there, you are confidently talking to people, and you're way more than anything, you're confident in your own skin. And that's something that's very important.
true, true. Now we're almost near our end of session, and you've already given us such great advice throughout the session. But still, if there are few tips that you want to talk about having a mental and physical balance and a spiritual life in one's life.
Ah, well, just ensure that you have a lot of movement in your life. I would, any kind of movement that you want. It could be walking for a couple of minutes, it could be going for a run, it could be cycling, it could be doing um, dance, for that matter. Anything that'll include a bit of movement, because you need to release those stress hormones from your body, and that'll only happen when you move. So any kind of physical activity which is a daily part of your life. In fact, if the students are watching this, they'll be going abroad, you can kind of register yourself at a gym. The gyms in the of course in your university, they're going to be amazing. There'll be a lot of activities, from pilates, kickboxing, cycling, swimming. Get into a sport, do whatever, but do enroll yourself into one of those things. Because when life hits you, when you're at the bottom of everything in your life, I think that's what will take you up, because you'll have a focus, you'll have something to look forward to. So do that. Mentally, I would say, I know of a lot of people who tell me that I can't meditate and stuff. So don't meditate. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. But you could start off with doing an activity which will get you into a state of flow, where you're flowing. You're not thinking about your past. You're not thinking about your future. You're just where you are. It could be possible that you're an artist. You could get into some form of art, or you could literally just read a book. Anything where you're just not thinking about anything. That you need to find that out for yourself, and you know what your flow is, so that you can create your flow even when your life is like all haywire. Okay. And just stay connected to your loved ones, because yeah, they're there for you no matter what, no matter what. So just have a very strong support system in your life, because they'll help you get through the highs and lows. And without them, you're nothing. So just ensure that you're surrounded by people who encourage you, people who want the best for you, instead of being around people who are wanting to pull you down, who don't want the best from your life. Don't do that. So surround yourself with people who are only going to encourage you, inspire you, make you a better person. That's all.
Right. So channelize your energy, which is very important, and then surround
In the
yourself
right
with loved
ways.
ones.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
surround yourself with the loved ones, because that's gonna take you out from anywhere.
True, true, true. Very true.
Right. Thank you so much, Raina, for joining us, and thank you so much for giving such great insight about the whole session. On the note, I'll just like to wrap up with like, don't be afraid of asking help.
Yes.
There's nothing better than asking help. Help, nobody's gonna say no to you. There's like 100% chance nobody's gonna say no to you. And let's live with this fact that it's okay not to be okay. The message that Raina is trying to convey. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Raina, again. We look forward to see you guys again on next Friday, 5 p.m. Stay tuned to our channel for more. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Raina.
you. Thank you, Shafali. It was lovely, lovely being here. I'm hoping that I was able to help at least a few out there.
I'm
I
sure.
wish you guys all the very best. Yeah, like Shafali very well mentioned. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Just try, just be yourself. That's all. And then you'll I think you'll attract the world of possibilities out there. So all the best and take care.
Thank you again. Thank you so much, Raina.